Oh, I lose my remote? No, come on. All right, we should be live now. I want to take a look at, let me just make sure that this is muted. I'm currently going over, I'm looking at ownerships on the F1 race real quick because I am pretty nuts that that sport just literally died in front of us. So just give me a second, and this will allow people to get in. 11 of you guys here. How you guys doing? Let's see. I got that spread out. I mainly just want to, let me just finish going and looking at all this type of stuff. So I have, let me just look real fast. Where's my remote at? Where's my phone at? Sorry, I know this is kind of sporadic, but it's early in the morning. You know, this is a lot of people to get in. Feel free to start dropping any comments, questions, anything you got in the chat. So I went ahead and this is just me because I was like, all right, cool. We're going to have quite a lot of overlay. We are going to have no reason to care about F1 after this weekend. I did 20 lines as I normally do just last year. If you look at the amount of times Max was optimal, Red Bull was optimal, everything, it just wasn't even fun to play. Same thing here. So I just did 20 lines, 100% Max on the captain, 100% Red Bull. So we will see how today shakes out. I'm mainly just curious on what people are looking at. Hulkenberg, 61% owned. Very interesting. Very, very interesting. Very quickly just going through, and then we'll start talking about NASCAR as everyone gets here. Yeah, like it's, dude, it's so stupid. There's no reason to cover F1. It's like, damn, wow, yeah. It's like F1 is not worth the time to cover. All right, so anyway, cool, man. I'm just looking through the running. I have the race here on my little iPad here. So unless anything happens, you guys, I mean, unless Max blows a motor or wrecks, I mean, we'll see what happens. All right, 27 guys here. So when we look at the NASCAR Cup Series here, I got messages like it's always when I'm about to do live shows. McGee, if you're watching, I think those lines are fine. I always get messages right before I go live and stuff. All right. Anyway, sorry about that. So when I'm approaching this race for DraftKings, there are a lot of different ways that I want to approach it. I'm not, so yesterday, just whiffed, just a miss. I absolutely missed. And I knew it right off the bat. I knew it 20 laps in. I missed on Custer. Absolutely whiffed it. Didn't have the speed that I thought he would. Just absolutely whiff, man. I was so mad at myself for missing on that. I thought he by far had the best car. However, everybody else was fine. The one that I want to do, playing just more guys in the 8 and 9K range, playing guys that are going to be up there in general. Not that I didn't do that before, but like Sammy Smith was fast until he nearly killed everybody in pit road. Brandon Jones was about to get a fucking top 5 and just tell everybody to fuck off. In that situation, obviously Austin Hill won the race. I don't know what happened to John Nemechek. I don't know what happened to that car once it was in traffic. And the reason I'm bringing that up is I'm very much building the exact same way. I probably won't be 75% on anybody like I was Custer yesterday, but Larson will probably I'll probably end up with 60% Larson, probably end up with like 50% Logano. I'm filling in certainly a lot of lines with William Byron, but specifically the people that I want to target are the cheaper drivers, not necessarily the value plays, but people like Alex Bowman, Bubba Wallace, Truex, Buescher, Daniel Suarez, Austin Dillon, Kevin Harvick, Denny Hamlin to an extent. This is very much a race where I think that type of area keeps you safe, and very similar to yesterday. Hope you can hear me all right. Very similar to yesterday. I kind of want to avoid the value range. I think the only guys worth playing in that value range is Harrison Burton or Corey LaJoie. Todd Gillen, if you want to get off of either one of those guys, but I don't really see a reason. A lot of my lines, let me just look real fast. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I have 16 lines made right now. I'll run 20. 11 of them have either LaJoie or Harrison Burton in them. So 5 of them, I'm not even in that range. And I think that's kind of where I want to be today. That's really how I'm spraying on ownership. I like Bubba Wallace. I think he's going to carry speed. I don't have any Reddick right now. That is not I'm going to go fade Reddick today. That's me seeing him and giving him 41 points today at 4.6 value. And I don't think he's going to be able to really get up there without any practice, in a sense of where everybody else got practice. Yes, they're going to build off of what Bubba has, but Reddick to run, specifically run the high side on 3 and 4 to be that aggressive, to be a guy that's going to compete for a win today. I wish he would have practiced. And so I just did not get to Reddick. So you can take that, or you can look at that as one of my true stands today. I didn't go out of my way to do that. I just built lines yesterday and this morning and did not get to Reddick at all. So that's that. Yeah. Also, very much thank you guys. 38 of you guys here. Thank you very much for being here, supporting me on Patreon. I'm still floored. I'm blown away that only like 2 people left. I couldn't believe it. Nearly everybody stayed on the old tiers, and I've had just a huge influx of new people on the Patreon. I can't believe it. Thank you guys so much. I really, really do mean that from the bottom of my heart. And hopefully these shows, the videos of me constructing lineups can help you either learn what to do, what not to do, whatever the case may be. I'm trying to be as transparent as possible with building lineups and stuff. I know I haven't read the comments yet, but in terms of how many dominators you want in your lineup, I'd still consider, I would rather just call them lap leaders. We can very easily, realistically build a line with 4 potential lap leaders in this race. But in terms of, let's say, top 6 drivers, how many lines do I have at the moment that have 3 of those? 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 4 of my 16 lines right now playing 3 of the top 6 drivers. So maybe that gives you an idea of where I want to do. A vast majority of mine only have 2 of those. I do have some with just 1. So, like, for example, I have some lines that are just Logano, murder in the field. Nobody gets up there. Like Larson isn't leading, Byron isn't leading, Kyle Busch isn't leading. I have some of those lines. I have some where it's just Larson, very similar. But in terms of one thing I was looking at when I was building lines yesterday, and you'll see in the video, is that I wanted to, when I was 11 lines in, I wanted to look at my Larson lines and find out what percentage of lines where he is the only guy killing the field, where I have a 2 lap leader type of lineup up front, and then I have 3 lap leader with him. And so when I went ahead and looked at that type of construction and build, I only had 3 lineups that had Kyle Larson and 2 other potential like main lap leaders up front. If you want to use the term dominator, that's fine. I still think that word is dumb. I think hog is dumb. So I want to use lap leader, but in terms of being aggressive on how many guys up front, I had 3 Larson lines that had 3 guys up front. I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 Larson lines with 2. So him and just 1 other guy up front. And then I went ahead and just made 1 with just him as a walk away. And that's kind of where I'm at right now in terms of Larson. I have Larson in total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I have him in 11 lines right now. I want to try and probably end up right around 13 with Larson. I kind of want right around 12, if not 13 or 14 with Logano. And I want to try and end up with right around like 7 with William Byron. Probably 3 with Ryan Blaney, 3 or 4, somewhere around there. That's kind of where my approach is up top. Past that, like I said, I really like the range, or really the starting positions from like 10th to like 24th. And granted, like, oh yeah, that's a lot of drivers, but like truly in a sense of like that, I think the only driver I don't have right now in that area are Stenhouse, McDowell, Busher, not Busher, Briscoe, and AJ Allmendinger. Past that, that's where a majority of my lines are going to be. They're very top heavy today in terms of starting position. I don't want to be trapped with guys being stuck a lap down because this race is going to go green. Just like the other two races this weekend. If you have guys that are racing in the 20s being trapped laps down, you're giving up so much potential and so much places of where you could go. So let's go ahead and start looking through. Let me see real quick what's going on here. Cool, man. Very cool. Cool beans. Okay. What's going on, man? I'm doing well, George. Let's see. Yeah, it was freaking nuts, man. I know. Thank you so much. Let's see. Yeah, I can't believe it, McGee. I truly thought everybody was gonna leave. I really did. I thought I was gonna enter Monday or enter the first and be like, you have 4 Patreons. I was like, fuck, dude. I thought I was screwed. Yeah, it's Atlanta after Phoenix. That's fine. Stenhouse, like I said, he's the only guy I don't have right now. Maybe I end up with 2 lives with Stenhouse, but I just didn't get to him. I was looking at his laps um at Auto Club to here. What am I doing? What am I doing? Hold on, I forgot this. If this stupid stuff would load. So on top of looking back at his where are we at here? Wrong. On top of looking back at his laps at Auto Club, man, Stenhouse is just not showing me what I want to see. And I mean, you can look at the averages as well, but like these speeds are just not where I want them to be at. All the small X's are slow laps where they're across the line that I removed. But man, these laps, I'm just not a fan of these laps, man. I'm just not a fan of these laps. I could probably remove that 155 from. But man, I don't think Stenhouse is gonna have the speed, man. I really don't. Not a big Not a big fan of him. Clearly, I mean, these guys in the back. Austin Dillon, his speed is concerning, but his track history is phenomenal. If you look at track history, he nearly always finishes top 15. So I'm not too worried about that. LaJoy, and I wish he was showing a little bit more speed. But last week you don't just fake that at Auto Club, you know. Uh, so you just don't fake it at Auto Club, man. See, I mean, a vast majority of my lineups are focusing on AJ isn't there, but it's really is focusing on like these guys up front in terms of value plays. Like Bubba Wallace was stupid fast last year. I don't know why he went crazy. He wrecks Larson when they're racing for 6th. Larson, Wallace, and Bell were running like in 6, 7, and 8 positions when they wrecked. Bubba's gonna have speed. Blaine is gonna have speed. Eric Almirola is going to have speed. We can argue that, yes, maybe Colleague is making steps forward, and certainly with what they brought to the Xfinity Series, but I'll just wait and see. And if I'm late, even with Haley and AJ showing speed here, if I'm late on it. But I like Harvick, and a lot of these are being held down. Their averages are being held down because these guys ran for so many laps. A lot of these guys are like deep in the 20s and stuff. That's bringing their averages down, but. No, I am a huge fan of the guys that I opened up and talk with and stuff. But I wanted to at least put this on there so you guys can see it. You guys can pause it, look at your screen and stuff. And yeah, and it's kind of where I'm at. But I forgot that I need to start doing that more, and at least putting that stuff on the screen. How's the F1 race going? Lap 10, Max has a fucking 6-second lead. Unbelievable, man. Unbelievable. Let's keep going through. And you're not dumb, McGee. Shoot, what is it? What is it? I frankly I only know what race we're going at on the Monday. I very rarely really truly look down the what is it, the schedule and stuff. On me, I don't think I was doing that many ads. I don't think I was doing that crazy. Am I still bullish on Hamlin and Truex? Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna play. I'm playing a shitload of Truex again. You know, maybe not a shitload. Let's see. I'll probably end up with him around 7-8 lines, somewhere around there. I like his starting position. I like his pricing. He's starting 15th. I mean, he's gonna have a top 10 car. You got to remember that. Truex had one of the fastest cars at Auto Club. The guy literally drove through the field twice. You know, he was in four. He was going to be in third coming out of that first caution, and he had improper fueling or equipment interference, whatever the case was. But he came out in the third position from pit lane, went to the back. He was about to work his way back in like the top 6, and he lost the tire. But that car was fast. We saw that several times last year. I do have some with Hamlin. Like, these guys aren't necessarily priorities. I mean, unless you consider like 8 lines a priority or something out of 20. But I'm gonna be heavy on Truex until some bitch either wins or unless I'll do the same song and dance I did last year, where I just play Hamlin Truex when nobody's going to play him for like the first half of the year, and jack shit happens, or they get fucked in every raid. Like Auto Club, unbelievable, got fucked every single time on pit lane. It was unfortunate. And not only did he get that, he got his fucking lap back. He went back from, not only did he drive through the field multiple times, he got his lap back. Oh my Lord. That's insane. How high am I on Kyle Busch? I do not have Kyle Busch today. Yet again, not because I'm going to fade Kyle Busch. Very similar to Reddick. I just did not get to Kyle Busch. I like Penske more. I like Hendrick more. I just didn't get to Kyle Busch. I have Kyle Busch projected for 53.15 points today. 18 laps led, 17 fast laps, finishing right around 4th. That's going to probably put him right around that projection. I don't have much more than that. Kyle is not, he's not that happy with the car. When you look at averages, I mean, Kyle, this is panic mode in my opinion when we're looking at his practices or his practice laps and stuff. It is absolute panic mode when you go out on the track and you're going back down pit lane. Going out on the track, going back down pit lane. Going out on the track, back down pit lane. He goes out, starts a 5-lap run, clearly not happy with the car. His first run, highest speeded line, 180.4. The leaders are running 183s. So he goes down pit lane, goes back out there, runs another 5 laps, doesn't like it, go back down pit lane, goes out there, runs another cycle. I mean, he's clearly not finding what he wants in that car, and that is a red flag for me. If you were going down and making that, and you're in a situation where you got to make kind of like wholesale changes, that I don't necessarily like that a lot. That's just kind of where I'm at there. Let's see real fast. So, fantastic. Looking like Magnussen is going to possibly beat out Nico. This is very interesting. So I have 70% Nico, but I have everything else with Magnussen. Magnussen's only 18% owned, and he is in 15th. Nico is in 16th. That's going to be an interesting battle in this F1 race. Let's see what else. I have some Gregson, just didn't get to AJ there. Improper fueling. I assume that it was outside. I think it was equipment interference, not improper fueling. But improper fueling is when you are fueling the car when the car is outside of the pit box. a rule that one's kind of black and white. They normally clear it. I normally don't get like upset like that. Like yesterday with the restart violation for Justin Allgaier. That's a rule. NASCAR has a lot of gray rules, but that's pretty black and white, and that's one that they nearly always call. You cannot go under any line until the start finish line. Byron and Blaney. I like Byron a lot more. That would be my answer. I have them both, but I would choose Byron over Blaney in that situation, especially due to the fact that you get Byron at $9,100 and you get Blaney at 97. I would much rather do the 9,100. Yet again, you can play a lot of 9AK guys today. And that's how I want to build the lines, man. Like you can go Larson, you can go Byron, and then go to the guys, go like Harvick, Harvick, Truex, Bubba Wallace, Hamlin. Like you can very easily get those guys in there, and then you realistically have 3 guys who can lead laps there. Depending on who you put at the bottom, you can throw Logano in there as well and have some pretty decent lines. That's really how I'm trying to target this race here. If it happens, it happens. Chevy certainly has an advantage. I'm not going out of my way to get them because I'm pretty sure I'm going to have Logano or at least Blaney in those lines, and I would want some Toyotas in there as well. So I'm not going to end up with like full Chevy 6-axes or anything like that, but that's where I'm at there. I have no idea what FV is. Chastain is another guy that I don't have. And so I don't have any Reddick, I don't have any Kyle Busch, I don't have any Ross Chastain. The Kyle Busch and Reddick ones I just didn't get to them. Chastain is more so me being like, I want to play Suarez. I think they are identical cars. I think they are identical plays. I will just play Daniel Suarez at $7,600. So Ross Chastain is a guy that I am actively being like, yeah, I'm not going to have Ross Chastain today. That's just where I'm at because I would rather have Suarez. I don't know about Suarez should be the highest owned driver. I don't see a reason why you shouldn't play him outside of ownership. I don't see that at all. Jones. I don't have a lot of Jones. I haven't ended up getting on Jones. I have him in like 3 or 4 lines right now, but I just didn't really end up on Jones. I kind of already mentioned that. I know I answered that. I mentioned how many lines I have either with him or Burton stuff. Go to the net. Okay, you got to be behind, dude. You can skip forward. Look, what else are we talking about at 9 a.m.? I talking about F1 was very important. Seeing how that contest, massive amount of ownership. That and the 4, massive amount of overlay. That is insane. The F1 died just here, right? It was dead on arrival. It was dead last year. This just reinforces nobody gives a shit about F1. The product fucking sucks. The DFS product, it just blows. That's just how it is, Yeah, no chat. I just did not get the Chastain today. I like Logano, I like Byron, I like Blaney, I like Larson. Maybe, with my, when I go build lines later. Also, I'm going to be joining Sheets at the top of the hour on True DFS. We'll go over line construction again as well because I enjoy doing that stuff. Maybe that will sway me more to get Larson specifically if I see, either he's higher on him or, something along those lines. But I just haven't ended up on Chastain right now. That's just kind of where I'm at. Yet again, beat me last week. Am I going to necessarily, overcorrect and chase Chastain this weekend? I like Suarez. I'd much rather just play Suarez, and I think I'm getting an identical car with an identical top 8 upside there. I'd rather play Cristobal than Chastain. I know that isn't necessarily in the same price range, but I don't think Bell's going to carry as much ownership as he should. So I would rather be overweight on Bell, or not overweight, but I'd rather have just exposure to Bell, Hamlin, Truex, even Kevin Harvick, Chris Buescher. I'd rather have ownership to those guys versus Ross Chastain there. You know what I mean? All right, let's see what else is going on here. Let's see. I think that's really about it. Let's see if there's anything I haven't really touched on. Let's see. Sending to you guys here on a very early Sunday morning. I do appreciate it. I think that's really about it. I'll tell you the current pool that I have. It's Logano, Byron, Blaney, Gibbs, Larson, Bell, Bowman, Hamlin, Wallace, Harvick, Truex, Busher, LaJoy, Almirola, Eric Jones, Suarez, Priest, and Harrison Burton. Those are the only guys I'm playing today at the moment. And I don't really necessarily see that pool changing. Good morning, LTF. Let's see what else. I think that's really about it, man. I think I've kind of covered everything. Do you guys have any heads or any comments or any questions that you have? Regardless, or not regardless, but that you guys want me to talk about or focus on and stuff. Anything you want to look at in terms of what happened at Auto Club last weekend? Because at this point, I've really kind of covered. I've literally talked about everybody that I have interest in, and I think I've given enough reasons why I either do or I don't. Let's talk about Chris Buescher. I know I mentioned his name. I really like Chris Buescher today. I think Chris Buescher has the potential to be pretty fast today. He has really, really good average speed in general. When we look at Chris Buescher's averages across the board, Chris Buescher, 8th best on 5 lap, 8th best on 10 lap. That's great to see. That is fantastic to see. So I want to get to Buescher. Same thing with Eric Almirola. The fact that he is a 6th best 5 lap and 3rd best 10 lap ranking, those are guys that I would prioritize in that price range. But those are really the only takes that I have that I guess I haven't mentioned. But those are the two guys that I'd want to focus on there. Everybody's asking about. I literally answered that, and I explained that. I mean, I'll repeat it here. I'm either using LaJoy or I'm using Harrison Burton, or I'm not in that range at all. And I have more Harrison Burton than I do LaJoy, but I have them divvied up in lineups. Practice speed is concerning. You know, that's a bit scary, but you can't fake the speed that he showed at Auto Club. That was real speed. Him starting 19th, just give me 17th LaJoy. That's all I care about. Give me that. Harrison Burton is a much safer play, and there's a real chance that Harrison Burton might outscore LaJoy. Like if LaJoy finished 22nd, Harrison Burton finished 25th. I mean, Harrison Burton all day. You know. In terms of Bowman, Bowman is probably my least owned driver in that 10th to 24th range that I'm playing. He's just my last true priority there. You know, we got Hamlin, we got Truex, we got Bell. You know, that's just where I want to go. Alex Bowman is very much last one in that situation. I know he won last year, so maybe that pushes up his ownership there. But the fact that we don't have Elliott anymore, it really just turns Hendrick, in my opinion, into William Byron or Kyle Larson, and that's just those guys. Yeah, so I just don't have any Alex Bowman at all. Let's see what else we got. So it very much depends on the race, on the weekend. I have several lines that this weekend that max out. I have several lines that leave several hundred on the table. I have a line that leaves. I got a few lines leaving close to or using close to 49,000. So salary doesn't matter at all, in my opinion. That's where I'm at, Cameron. No problem, Mark. Happy to have you there. How do you think Barry will run today? I don't know. Certainly DFS, I'm not playing him, but if he can pull away a 23rd, 24th place finish, that would be nice. He had a really hellacious day yesterday. All right, quick F1 line, because look, I'm very much interested in how this F1 race goes with this overlay and just being 100% on max and stuff. Right now, currently 2 lines tied for 70th. I have Verstappen, Alonso, Magnussen, Tsunoda, Sargent, and then Verstappen, Bottas, Magnussen, Albon, Tsunoda, several other lines in the top 1,500 right now. So I am very much interested in this F1 race and how it plays out. And I got nothing else to talk about right now. But yeah, Barry, I don't know. I'm so happy we don't have to do a Chase Elliott. Oh my God. If he can stay out as long as possible, that'd be fantastic. I hate Chase Elliott fans. They are so obnoxious. The Dawsonville pool room, so obnoxious. So the fact that we don't have Chase Elliott in the field, fantastic. If we could go into the month of July without Elliott back, that'd be awesome. Or if he can show up and not be fast at all, that'd be awesome. Let me see. I'm pretty sure. Let's see if I got any questions in Discord or anything at all. The Patreon. Thank you very much. Somebody else just joined the Patreon. I do appreciate it. It hasn't shown me who. I just said I have notification. So thank you very much. Oh, Chandler, thank you very much for joining the Patreon, Chandler. I really do appreciate that. Hey, yet again at the same time, thank you joining the Patreon, Chandler, and thank you BVP for the consistent $20 donations. That's awesome. That's insane. Like that, you literally. I mean, I need to start saying super chat more. But every single stream that you view me, you send me a $20 super chat. Thank you so much. I really, really do appreciate that. Thank you. I appreciate the support. And yet again, everybody watching and stuff. We've had a up and down day, but I've always had consistent support on these streams and stuff, and you don't get that unless you're not helping people in some form or fashion. So I really do appreciate it. Thank you very much. Hey, Sergeant Sugar, it has been a very long time. Thank you I'm happy to see you back in the stream. I know we were never able to really, dive down into that kind of like charity stream that we kind of talked about on and off last year, but happy to have you back. Yeah, Sterling. I like that we won't have Elliott for Dakota. That's going to be awesome. We don't have Elliott. Hopefully that injury takes forever to heal. I know Hocevar came back from it very quickly. I know Kyle Busch came back from it very quickly. Brett Moffitt broke both his legs and didn't miss a race. I can't think of a lot of people who were probably happier that that COVID happened than Brett Moffitt because he didn't even miss a race. So we'll see how it goes. Think Gibbs has a good shot. So initially entering the week, I did not view myself playing Gibbs. And I will probably have him, probably 2 lines. Maybe 3. The car is going to be there. It's just what if he makes a mistake, pit road, gets in the wall at some point. But Gibbs is very much an interesting play and very much a really, really decent tournament play. If you want to play a true build that has nothing but people starting in the top 20, you really can do that. And I will probably have that line because you play LaJoy, assuming he finishes top 20. You play Gibbs, assuming he's probably going to stay top 10. You get your lap leaders, you get, a Busher, you get, a Bubba Wallace and stuff, and you can very easily make lines that don't even touch the back of the field. And I don't believe we're going to have a lot of place differential really come through. Maybe Priest, maybe Reddick, but in the grand scheme of things, if you have as many people in the top 10 as possible, you can scrape off fast laps, and you are going to have opportunities at getting the leader off a pit lane. So Gibbs makes a lot of sense to me to have in lines. As I said, I'm in 2 right now. Maybe I end up with 3. but those lines are very much in contention to have just at least 5 potential lap leaders, and if not 6 potential guys who can get fast laps. And I think Gibbs is a fantastic tournament play today because of that. Let's see what else we got. But yeah, I think that is. Let me take this off. I think that's mainly it. I'm very very excited for this race. I like building lines for this race. I think there's a lot of ways to go about it. I don't think we got to worry about duplicates a lot. Let's see your question. Busch, Chastain, Suarez, right? Gibbs, LaJoy, great build. Yeah, I mean, I think yet again for me, I just don't have Reddick and Chastain, so I'd totally swap those guys out for some Toyotas and stuff, and even Kyle Busch. But that's a great look at that entire build, that entire lineup has 4 guys who can potentially lead laps and 5 guys who can potentially get fast laps. Like that's how you have to play NASCAR DFS. That type of build makes a lot of sense. I think Gibbs really is the biggest hindrance in that. I mean, LaJoy clearly has risk as well, and that's why I don't necessarily want to have like 25% Ty Gibbs, but I'm gonna have at least 10, if not 15% Ty Gibbs. 3 lines out of my 20 and stuff. So I like that build. That's such an interesting way to build this weekend. Like that's why I don't like. Yes, AJ Haley showing good speed on averages. They ran long runs, but I don't think they're going to do it. I don't want to really mess around with Gillen. We're clearly not playing Yaley, Ware, Barry, Ty Dillon, BJ today. Let's play a lot of guys in the top 20 today, man. That's really how I want to approach it. That's where I want to go. What's going on, Clutch? Happy to have you here. Very, very quickly, Dakota. Those for me, just where I'm at. Kyle Busch is the only guy. No, actually, let me change it. Chastain is the only guy that I was like, okay, I personally don't want to get to today. Other drivers that I do not have, that I did not make that choice for, it has just ended up that way, is Kyle Busch and Reddick. So the drivers that I'm not playing personally are Kyle Busch, Chastain, and Tyler Reddick. Kyle Busch, I don't believe he has the car that he's comfortable with. I don't think he's going to compete for the win today. He will run top 6 all day. I have him for right over 50 points. I think I said it specifically earlier. I have Kyle Busch for 53 points today, but I don't believe he has the car to win the race or lead laps. Chastain, I'd much rather just play Suarez, and I just didn't get to Tyler Reddick. But to answer your question, that is where I'm at there. And then yet again, I'm going to be joining Sheets at the top of the hour on True DFS as we just kind of talk line of construction and kind of have a much more chillax type of stream and stuff. So I'll probably end this one in probably around like 10 minutes. So feel free to drop any of the comments in there. 89 of you guys here join me on a Sunday, very early Sunday. You could be at church, you could be having breakfast with your family, although you might still be able to do that and listen. But thank you very much for just being here. Let's see. I think Briscoe is a good sleeper. No, I don't have any Briscoe today. When we look at his laps, slow as molasses. Average across the board, he's in 30th. Runs, he is in, I'm going to assume he's probably near the bottom. He is 14th best ranking across his best lap, but his 5 lap is 25 or 23rd, my bad. I'm not getting to Chris Buescher. Thoughts on Austin Dillon? As I was going later into the evening yesterday and in this morning, I was like, I don't have enough Dillon. So I've thrown Dillon in lines on my later runs. My early builds didn't get to Dillon. I'm getting a Dillon on my own volition of like, okay, I need to have some Austin Dillon. Mainly just due to the fact of how fast they were last week, and he's starting 26. Kind of awkward price to get to, depending on who you're running with. So I'll probably end up with right around 25%, if not 30%, Austin Dillon. That's where I'm at there. I'll tweet it out on Twitter, so you can just wait for that. It's on True DFS. It's on Sheets. Or it's on the True DFS YouTube and stuff. I don't know if I miss on AJ, I just miss, but I'm not there. man. Hey, thank you very, very much, Jason. I do appreciate it. That goes a long way. So thank you very much for joining the Patreon and stuff. Let's see. And like I said, I'll tweet the link out for TrueDFS on my Twitter, which you guys can follow me on Twitter as well. I know I don't ask, like subscribe, like, follow me on Twitter, but all my links are always in the description if you were ever curious about any of that stuff. What's going on, Big? Happy to have you here. Stunna, happy to have you here as well. Who'd be your pivots to do? Who would be your pivots to Chastain and Reddick? I mean, it's literally everybody else I've mentioned: Logano, Byron, Larson, Hamlin, Truex, Harvick. But I mean, literally everybody else who I haven't played. Like, there's not one specific guy like, oh, I'm not playing Truex at 10-3, so I'm gonna have a direct pivot off of that to Logano or whatever. It's not in the sense of like that. I just haven't gotten to Chastain. And same thing with Reddick. It's not that, oh, Reddick is $8,800. I'm going to have a direct pivot off of him to Harvick or to Bubba. I just like Bubba I like the speed that car is going to have. I like the speed that Harvick's going to have. Harvick is going to get in the top 6 today. Now, if he leads or gets fast laps, that's up to him. But Harvick will probably run in the top 6 to 7 at some point in this race. And I would just rather have that over my projection of Tyler Reddick, which is at 41 points for Reddick. What is this? You're the best. I can tell. Just oh, thank you very much, Cameron. I do appreciate it. Thank you very, very much. And thank you very much, Jack. Thank you very much. In terms of Barry, I'm not playing Barry for DFS. I have Josh Berry finishing 20th today. That's like 20th is my projection. Probably 21st, 22nd, realistically, would be a good day for him. In terms of actual projections, I have Barry for 33 points. That, I'm just not playing. I'm just not getting to Barry today. I think he has a lot to overcome. He has a lot to get used to. Digital dash is going to be huge. The fact that the fact that he's going to be using, like, so unlike Pastrana coming in, you're not saying this is equivalent to Travis Pastrana coming in, but the fact that Barry is very much strapping into a vehicle that he has very little experience in. Who did he sub for before? I might be thinking more of the truck series, because I know he ran, Young Motors. He ran the 02 a couple races. And then he ran the Rackley truck, but I don't think he's tested the next gen before. Anyway, long story short, a lot of things to get used to there. Everything from the sequential to how the braking is going to be to like that's a lot for Barry to take over. I'm not saying he doesn't have the talent for it. That's why, like, look, good day in my book, he shows up and finishes like 26th, 23rd, but for DFS, I'm just not getting to him today. PD, actual PD plays, probably Suarez, Eric Almirola, Chris Buescher. I would categorize him there, and probably Austin Dillon. Those would be the guys that I'd focus. Oh, and Harrison Burton, clearly. But that's where I would go there. Bowman, I mean, yeah, his pricing based on my projection is certainly a good value. And I don't know. I think his pricing is right where it should be. Like, he should not be a 9K driver here. But as I said, Bowman is my lowest priority inside the top 20 that I have ownership to. Stack the pack. Yeah, I wish, man. I wish this race would turn to a wreck fest. That'd be hilarious. We'll see. No, man. See, we've had like 4 PC failures in Winstill since my new computer died. That sucks. And no, I haven't gotten my replacement yet. It just got to Florida. I sent it to Corsair on Monday. It just got there yesterday. Turnaround is probably a week and a half, 2 weeks, so I won't have it for tonight's race at Rockingham I won't have it for the next one. I'll probably have it maybe by the 12th or 15th, hopefully. I'm hoping, man, because this computer's struggling so much, man. I feel so bad. I have like 4 sheets open up, 2 streams. I mean, I got this poor thing's dying over here. So I'll have my rig in probably a week and a half, 2 weeks. Any certain take on Denny? Honestly, not a real take outside of the fact that I just want to have some ownership to him. But any true lean, I honestly do not have a true lean on Denny Hamlin of what he can or possibly can't do. Let's see. F1 update. They probably got a pit again. We're about halfway through. We got the McLaren. One of the McLaren cars are out. Currently, my highest line right now is 34th, or tied for 34th, rather. Verstappen, Alonso, Magnussen, Tsunoda, Sargent. So we'll see how that goes. Alrighty then, ladies and gentlemen, I am probably going to end it here. So very quickly, yet again, thank you, BVP, for the continued support through Super Chats and nearly every single live show I ever do. Thank you so much for doing that. That means a lot. I'm glad that I can help you out in some form or fashion. For everybody who would like to support me, I have Patreon, multiple tiers, $25 a month gets you just all my projections for everything. It also supports the live shows and streams and all the post weeks. Oh shit, I didn't do a post week auto club. That's because I had my fucking world rocked. But we'll do a post week review for Las Vegas probably tomorrow, and then clearly whenever races go live, that's when I make. I think I did 12 lines last night that I recorded. It's about an hour long, just kind of talking through my process. Those go up when the slates lock. And yeah, and I also have, a $10, $3 tier on Patreon if you just want to support me in some form or fashion, if you enjoy the content. So thank you guys very much for being here. And yeah, thank you very much. Best of luck to you as well, Big, and I will see you guys later. In about 8 minutes, I'll be on True DFS talking with Sheets. I'll tweet that out on Twitter so you guys can join me there if you would like to, and we will see you guys next week on Tuesday or Wednesday whenever I do the preview show. So I'll see you guys then. Best of luck.